What is going on, YouTube? It's Scott Kazan, and I'm here to show you the Papillon Doggy, made by Balloon Twisty, or Twisty Balloon. Thank you, Balloon Twisty, for giving me permission to make this really, really cute puppy. It's a little tricky at first, so practice makes perfect, and my proportions are not perfect either. Like, you might want to play around with the proportions as far as how big the dog's head should be, how big the dog's ears should be, how big the dog's snout should be. But I'm essentially giving you the blueprint on how to make it. So without further ado, let's get started. You're gonna make a 4-balloon quadrant, pretty much like a rectangle, and you're going to want to make all the balloons exactly the same size as best as you can. Leave that extra scrap lying around because we're going to need that. And in hindsight, I wish the scrap was on the bottom and on the top, and you'll see why later on in the video. But in the meantime, you can see I love using scraps or excess pieces to tie the balloon. Leave that extra piece there. It could come in handy. So now we add a white balloon, and you can add it to the top or the bottom because that extra balloon can come in handy on either side. But I'm going to wrap it into the bottom. So again, my proportions, I did my best, but you know, you might like your snout a little smaller for your puppy, or maybe a bigger forehead. This one, you know, the proportions are really tough. That's why I don't make this design too often, because it's a pain in the neck. So you're going to make a 2-finger or 1-finger bubble, and then a 1 or 2-finger pinch twist. And then you're going to want a nice loop, because this loop is the snout. So I'm making it medium. I'm thinking about it real hard, because if it's too small, it don't look right, and if it's too big, it really don't look right. So you're going to have to play around with that. Now level everything up, line everything up, and then pick the side that looks the most even. You know, make sure both balloons are the same size. If one's bigger than the other, it's gonna show. It's not gonna look good. So we're gonna wedge that balloon in between the 2 cheeks of the puppy, and we're gonna use that balloon that we left to help tie it in. That makes life a lot easier than having to run it through the balloon. Now we have that. We're going to make another 1-inch bubble and then a pinch twist, and that's going to be the anchor. That's what's going to tie the nose when we use the nose. And then you're going to come back down to the bottom, and then I wish I had that extra little dangly excess piece, because I had to do a really technical, tricky move here. I didn't want to run the balloon through in fear of it popping. So I opted to make a pinch twist and then run the balloon through the head. This way it's secure and not going to unravel on us. But yeah, I would have loved a little scrap there so I can just tie it in instead of having to do that. I mean, I'm probably going to put pinch twist there anyway, because pinch twists are a great anchor, but I would have rather not ran the pinch twist through the balloon like that. Bad things can happen. So I'm a guy that likes things even, so I can't just put 1 pinch twist, so I put 2, just so it's nice and level. And just adjust it a little bit. Now when I first did the ears were too big, so that's how big they were. They were way too big, so I had to break it and backtrack a little bit. So yeah, don't make the ears that big, it just looks weird. Now for the nose. Luckily I'm fast forwarding this, because holy cow, I could not tie this extra scrap to the bottom of the nose because the scrap was too little. I should have used a bigger scrap. It would have made my life a lot easier, because look at me fiddling with this thing. Oh my god, hurry up, man. Man, oh man, it was annoying to sit through that. So what happens is you're going to need 2 scraps, essentially. You know, we can't have just one. You have 2 scraps to the very small bubble. That's going to be the nose. So now when we make the ears, you tie it into the bottom, you make a 1-inch bubble, and then you make maybe a 5 or 6-inch bubble, and then another 1-inch bubble. And we can still use that balloon on the top to secure it instead of running it through, because boy, I hate running things through. I really do. It's not easy. A lot of things break when that happens. And then obviously you're going to make whatever you did on the right side of the ear, you're going to do on the left side, the exact same proportions. And then you'll run that through the pinch twist. I would not recommend breaking this out at a gig when there's a lot of kids and you have very little time, because if it doesn't go well for you because you think you got it memorized and you actually don't, yeah, you're going to have a long time. You're going to have a bad time. So I learned from experience. I mean, I'm literally speaking from this actually happening to me. I'm thinking I got this dog under my belt, and then I try to, you know, get it out, and holy cow, it takes longer than I wanted to. So now for the nose. You're going to need 2 scraps because we're going to run the scrap through each side of the center white balloon. This way, the nose isn't pulling to the left or pulling to the right. That's the problem if you have just one scrap. If you just pull it through that side, you got to grab it with your hands and just make an exchange and then run it through the pinch twist. And if you do that, it could, you know, lean to the left more. It won't be even and balanced. So now you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to transfer that scrap to your other hand, pull it through, and then lock that in. This way it's not going anywhere. Alright, that's looking good. And then that's what that extra piece has been for the whole time, is to clean up the back and close everything out. This way the head looks nice and not like, you know, have a weird bubbly thing in the back of his brain. It's kind of silly. So that's what that's been there for. If it was on the bottom, you might have been able to use that for an ear. So we're going to use a 160, just the end, because no matter how many times I've made this dog, I can never make that bubble small enough. It's always like too big for me. I can never make the tongue look the way I want it to. And then we're going to jam those eyes in there. You're just going to jam them in and wedge them in between. You don't have to run them through or secure them. I mean, you can if you want to, but I would recommend not doing that. And yeah, I've tried to do shortcuts where I made just one balloon and tried to, like, you know, make a 260 and just make the eyes that way instead of making the 2 balloons early. It's not a good idea either. You should just do what I'm showing you. And essentially the head is done. It looks pretty cute. And I wasn't going to make the body. I was just going to make the head and tell you to go see my cat body video. But I figured, well, since I have these 2 extra balloons lying here, I might as well just make the body. So I brought them down, attached them, ran it through. That's going to be the belly in the back. And then we're going to add 1 more balloon. And since I'm lazy and also cheap, I don't want to waste another balloon, so I'm going to make the whole rest of the body, or the front legs and back legs, with this 1 balloon. Or at least I'm going to try. So you're going to go down for the leg, make a loop and a pinch twist, then a small bubble, and then a loop and a pinch twist for the feet. And whoops, it's on the wrong side. You got to start all over again. We got to start from scratch. Put the balloon on the wrong side. Alright, so even out, make sure the left leg's the same as the right leg, and that's now the back. So run that down to the bottom, and that balloon is just big enough to make 2 small loops for like the hind legs kind of in a sitting position. And I did it quickly so it didn't tie all the way through, so I had to really run it through a couple times. And then it wasn't long enough to just push it through that way. That wasn't working, so I had to really push it through. And then we got this extra piece, and this will be just more stability, and they look like, you know, the bottom feet when you run it through the front and then to the back. And then just center the tail out. And there it goes. It's a really fast body for a party. Like, you know, there's the fancy body, and then there's the just a really quick little body. And you can even make the dog just like make a dog body and put that head on a dog body, and it looks just as good. So guys, there you have it. There is the Papillon Doggy. I made this video because on the Facebook forum, Balloon Twister Central, somebody asked about it, and I mentioned I have permission from Balloon Twisty. I've been meaning to make this video for a very, very long time, and I finally made it because 11 people liked the little comment I made, and that gave me peer pressure to say, oh goodness, I better make this video. I don't want to disappoint you guys. So guys, I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Make a comment, and I'll see you when I see you. Because I don't know when I'm going to make another video. I might make another video in a month, or 2 months, or next week. I just don't know.